Alright guys, we'll get started today. So I'll be your host and presenter today, as well as Patrick Brunelle. I'm Jason here, the co-founder here at Brilliant Directories, and Pat, why don't you give a little hi-de-ho to everyone out there?
Hi-de-ho, everyone.
Okay, great. And again, if this is your first time joining us here on Webinar Wednesday, we always recommend joining our LinkedIn group. You can go to brilliantdirectories.com/LinkedIn. It's a free group, and it's a great way to carry on discussions after the webinar is over about marketing, how the software works, and things like that. And you can also meet fellow directory owners there and have discussions with them as well. So always recommend joining our LinkedIn group. And for those of you joining us for the first time today, just to outline what the goal of Webinar Wednesday is, I think we're almost in our third month of Webinar Wednesday. I think they've been fantastic. We've answered hundreds and hundreds of questions throughout all the webinars, so that's really good. Everyone learns from everyone's questions, so they're always helpful for everyone. And it's really an opportunity to, maybe you're stuck trying to figure something out and you can't figure out how to do it on the platform. So we want to be there to kind of assist you and guide you with some of the knowledge that we have about the platform. And the rules of engagement, you can ask any type of question. I think for some reason today is going to be heavy on SEO, which is great. I'd love to get into that. But you can ask questions on how to market your site, design your site, how to publish content, make things work, whatever you have on your mind. There's no bad questions. And we just ask that we do one question per person until everyone's had an opportunity to ask at least one question. I think with the smaller crowd that we have today, we'll be able to get to everyone's questions. And the contest of the week, we're actually going to repeat the contest we had last week. If you've already participated, there's no additional action required from you. All you need to do is leave a review at brilliantdirectories.com/new review. If you haven't done this yet or didn't do it last week, you can definitely take advantage of it this week. All you have to do is go to brilliantdirectories.com/new review, and you'll be directed here to this website. And you can just leave any feedback about Brilliant Directories here. And upon completing the review form, we'll add $50 of credit to your Brilliant Directories account that you can use towards future website purchases, add-ons, training sessions, any other products or services that Brilliant Directories offers. So if you haven't done so yet, you can just do it real quick before we start the actual Q&A session. Just go to brilliantdirectories.com/new review. It just takes 10 seconds to leave a review, and we'll automatically add the $50 credit to your Brilliant Directories account. And for the deal of the week, we're actually doing something pretty special here. Pat, I'll let you take this over. It's a little bit different than the deals that we've offered in the past for the VIP add-ons club or discounts on add-ons. And this is mainly at a request of the attendees who have emailed us after the webinars for something just a little bit more special and informational besides the Q&A session that we do every Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this, Jason. Basically, we're going to be having an exclusive webinar, so it's going to be definitely more intimate than our typical webinars are. And the idea being that both Jason and myself have launched numerous websites, and throughout the years, we've really learned some valuable lessons, basically some trade secrets, so to speak, some third-party softwares we use, and how we utilize the data that we compile to help either increase traffic or conversions. We've launched multiple social media pages, and would love to share some of these successes and some of these tricks with those of you who care to attend. So rather than opening up to a Q&A session like we normally do, it's going to be primarily Jason and I sharing some of our personal favorite tricks, as well as providing you with some nice surprises that I've put together for you. So some tools that you can use for you to implement the tricks that we're going to be sharing with you on this webinar. So if you think the free webinar is something special, I guess you can only imagine the type of content we'll be able to share for you in this exclusive webinar invite.
That's right, and this is going to be a few weeks from now, and we're doing it on the weekend, during the weekend on a Saturday. The reason being is we can't support up to 100 attendees, so we want the maximum number of people to be able to make it. We get a lot of calls saying, you know, I'm at work or I'm at dinner with the family, and we're also doing it at a time that may balance the Australia-UK time continuum. So this would be at 6 a.m. Australia time, which would be your April 30th, and 8 p.m. United Kingdom time. Now, although that is early for the Australia time, we were doing our best to kind of balance out the time frame here for everyone around the world. So it is going to be on Saturday, April 29th. That's the 30th if you're in Australia. And you can go to brilliantdirectories.com/promo. Once we reach 100 attendees, the page won't work anymore there, and people, you guys in this webinar can use early bird as the coupon code, and that'll drop the $95 price down to $45. We'll be doing formal marketing for this this webinar starting on the weekend. So between the weekend and the time of the event, people will be signing up at the regular attendance price. So we hope that you guys can join us on the 29th at the discounted price of just $45 to attend this webinar. And now for the fun part of Webinar Wednesdays. This is where you guys can ask whatever questions you have about the platform. I know a lot of you emailed in a few questions. If you don't mind typing them in or using the raise your hand feature.
And Jason, maybe just explain how somebody could use the coupon code functionality to basically offer a 30-day free trial, but accept the credit card details to have them on file and start billing 30 days after sign up. Because in our forum, I would have to say that the free trial request, and I know a lot of you attending here today, is the most highly demanded feature of all the features of Brilliant Directories. I haven't seen anybody request anything more than the free trial. And with the coupon, Easy Coupon Codes add-on, you can essentially collect the credit card information, which is critical, because unless you can collect credit card information, it's difficult to start charging them after sign up. So you want to go ahead and go over that?
Sure. So when you're creating a coupon code, there's a few ways. Basically, you want to bring the price of the first payment down to $0. So you could do a % discount and make it 100% off, and that'll make their first payment $0. And so if they're signing up for a monthly plan, that'll give them their first month for $0 or whatever currency you're using. And you just want to make sure apply to recurring payments is set to no. So after 30 days, they'll be charged the normal monthly price for their membership. So this is a great workaround using the coupon codes to give your members at least their first payment free. And I know with Brilliant Directories, you can charge monthly, every 6 months, every year, and there's also a one-time pay option that you can set up for your different membership levels. So that's the workaround for getting a free trial. You can call it whatever you want, you know, free 30, whatever clever stuff you come up with. All right.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jason.
Absolutely. Frederick, I've unmuted your microphone. Are you with us there?
Yes, sir.
Where are you calling in from, Frederick?
I'm calling in from Atlanta, Georgia.
All right, Atlanta, Georgia. And what's your question for us today?
Well, I'm still working on putting my website together, and I think I'm getting pretty close, but I was just wondering, how do I market for members once I've got it up?
How do you market the members once you get them up? There are a lot of strategies for marketing members to members. So when you're marketing to new members, a lot of people are kind of hesitant to even get started with a directory website. It's a chicken or the egg scenario where how can you launch a directory? How can you market a directory when there are no members in it? Or how do you get members, you know, when you're just
That's what I mean. That's what I mean, trying to get members in it.
So I think Pat has the best explanation for how to think globally but act locally when you're first getting started with your first members. And short answer is, for your first members, just add them yourself. And I think Pat can explain a little bit more about that.
Sure thing. What I like to do with my directories, or what I recommend people do, is to basically pick one city at a time. Hopefully, well, you live in a large urban center, so I would start with that city first. And let's say you had dentists and doctors and lawyers. I would spend the time and make sure that I had at least one complete profile in all the primary industries that I'm looking to advertise in. The reason this is important is when I am talking to a business to have them join my site, I want them to see first an example profile of somebody in their industry using my website. So I want them to see what they could have. And I also want at the same time for them to see that their competitors are already advertising on our website. And Jason's line is one of my favorite ones, where you really hone in on the point that this is not, don't put all of your marketing eggs in one basket. This is not the only solution for your business getting more money. This is one of many things that you can invest in that all together add up to more sales, and really try to gain traction that way.
Gotcha. So let's take a look at your site. And what type of people are you trying to attract to your new website?
Primarily people who are trying to work in the robotic engineers industry.
Okay. So, I was thinking about this because we're going to be, these are the types of things we're going to cover in the webinar on April 29th. The most important things are, first, you have to define who you are. So your website is Robotic Engineers International. So that's a good name for a site, and then you want to have a nice slogan that explains who you are. So, the number one community to find robotic engineers, to hire robotic engineers, you have to decide who you are. The next thing you need to do is you need to give people a reason. Give them a reason to sign up to your site. What is your unique selling proposition? Why on earth should they register their email address, let alone pay you to join your website? So you really need to create a strong, like, how it works page or about page. We saw the gentleman on demodays.com. He spends some time to make a nice about how it works page or about page. So It's not about the design, it's more about the content. So maybe you want to come up with, this is some generic content that, we start off with all Brilliant Directory sites. Maybe 1, 2, 3 are 3 benefits for joining your website for robotics engineers, and what they're going to get out of it. So they'll be able, I don't know what they'll be able to do, but that maybe they might be able to meet like-minded individuals. They have the possibility to get hired and be found by people looking for their specialty services, in a way to show their expertise in the industry. So you really want to, I like to say, play to their ego a little bit and make them feel like if they're not joining your site, they're really missing out on something special.
Gotcha.
So the messaging is the first place to start, and the first thing you have control over on your website. Once you nail your messaging, and it might change, as you get feedback from your actual members, but the messaging on your website, who you are and what reasons are you providing for them to join your site, are probably the most important things you can do first, before you start investing any money in marketing your website. Because once you start investing money in a website that does not have the correct messaging on it, it's money down the drain, because your website is not going to resonate with potential members. The purpose of your website is not going to be clear, and you're going to think, oh, I need to invest more money in marketing, when the problem is you're just not converting at a high enough level, and that conversion rate is usually based on imagery, messaging, the layout of the page, and things like that, mainly aesthetic things, and the messaging on your site. So don't invest money out of the gate in expensive marketing until you've really fine-tuned and you're satisfied with the amount of people that are signing up to your site based on how many are visiting your website.
I really appreciate that.
All right. But yeah, I would recommend joining the webinar on the 29th, and we'll definitely cover topics just like that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Frederick. Have a great day. Yeah, great question there. It's, well, I have this website now. How do I get people to it? Now that I bring people to it, nobody's signing up. What do I do? There's a lot of different strategies based on the industry that you're in, but the number one thing is the messaging. Who is your website? What do you do? And what reasons are you giving people to join your site? You got to really nail those and make it clear what the benefit is for joining. So good question there, Frederick. Thank you. And we'll go with another name that starts with F, Fernando. Fernando, how you doing there?
Hey, how are you today? Can you hear me?
Yes, Fernando, how are you today?
Very good, sir. How about yourself?
Good, good. Thank you. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right, great, great. And what's your question for us today?
We have a small business of permanent makeup here in the area, but I've noticed that there are many practitioners of permanent makeup, and I would like to create a simple but to the point type of directory for this type of industry.
Hair and makeup?
Permanent makeup, yes, sir.
Permanent makeup, okay.
Yes, sir. But my lacking is the technical aspects, and I don't know. I believe you guys may have some kind of programs, so somebody can teach me a little bit of the details, and maybe some training or.
Yeah, great question. So Fernando has a directory. It's for permanent makeup, people who apply permanent makeup on people, I guess for eyebrows and eyeshadow and stuff like that. Basically, that's a visual directory. We've seen a lot of those in the past. I've seen a directory of tattoo artists. I've seen a directory of interior designers. That's what Matthew and I started with back in 2009. I've seen a directory of muralists. These are people who they get business based on showing visuals of their work. People want to see the end product. That's how they mainly get their business. So Fernando, when you're starting a directory like this, first of all, again, just what I told Frederick, you want to make sure that your messaging is clear. What makes your website a little bit more special than, for example, Yelp? Because anyone can join Yelp and advertise their business. The problem with Yelp is you're limited to reviews that you may or may not like, and there's a lot of people on Yelp. It's hard to kind of compete with them. With Brilliant Directories, your members can post before and after photos, and the photos can be searchable. It's a great way to create content. But more importantly, and again, I'm going to defer to Patrick on this, once you've established your actual site with your messaging and your membership levels, in order to market it, you actually don't need to do too much work. All you really need to do, and I think for this type of site, permanent makeup, you can really utilize Facebook advertising, create 4 or 5 awesome blog posts that you run Facebook ads to, and they can be on topics related to permanent makeup. So you do the Facebook, you create the articles, 4 or 5 of them, you run Facebook ads to those articles, and on the side of the articles and at the end of the articles, you can either ask people to join the directory if they're permanent makeup artists, or search the directory if they're looking for permanent makeup artists. So once you establish some good Facebook ads and good blog articles, you can set a small daily budget, nothing to break the bank, and your website will do all the work for you. The Facebook ads and the articles will be the channel in which you funnel potential members and consumers to the website who are looking for the professionals. Any insight on that, Pat?
Yeah, also I believe Fernando was also asking, saying that he's not very technical, and he was asking us what we recommended so that he can fast track this project. And I think that Fernando should definitely take a look at the website setup services that our team offers. What Jason's talking about, that's the good stuff. That's the marketing and the sales. Every directory owner needs to market and sell in order to have a successful business, and what prevents a lot of online businesses from getting to that point is they're always setting up. They're learning the software, they're setting up landing pages, they're setting up how they're going to accept payments, and depending on your technical ability, this could be something that you can figure out in a matter of hours, or it can take you weeks, if not months, to figure out depending on how much free time you have. So by purchasing a website setup plan, this is perfect for somebody that doesn't want to have to learn how to set everything up on their own, because most of the things that you're going to do when getting started are things you're only going to do one time. You're only going to set up your membership levels one time. You're only going to set up your pricing page one time. You're only going to have to set up the categories for your website one time. so on and so forth. So rather than learning all of these things that you're never going to have to do again, you could hire someone on our team to help you do that. You fill out an Excel sheet, so to speak, and you get one consultation call in the Kickstart plan. And then we do that basic implementation for you, and then you have a closing call where you go over the site together and your coach gets to answer any questions you have pending on your site before you actually do what Jason says and start driving traffic to the site.
That's right. So I actually came to one of the sites. Here's Find a Muralist. And again, these types of sites are very visual because the members have so many before and after photos, and and they can publish videos also, not just photos. So it's a really good platform that you've selected, Brilliant Directories, for this type of directory. And yeah, once you get everything set up once, you kind of set it and forget it. I mean, you can monitor it and make tweaks, but once it's set up properly, then you can go to the marketing stuff, and even that can be automated with either Google ads or Facebook ads, and a few blog posts that are compelling enough to convert members and to direct website visitors to searching your site. So thank you very much for that question. All right, moving on here. Any questions typed in there?
Yeah, we do have quite a few. Okay. Stephen asks, I want to promote online courses. What's the best way to do this? And since I've already done this myself, maybe not online, I figured maybe I could show people how quick and easy it is to repurpose one of our features if you ever want to, without needing to know any coding.
That's right, and also if they're paid courses, you can make them for certain membership levels only, as an example. So only if you're this membership level can you see this set of courses or videos.
Correct. So right now I'm logged into my one of the demo sites we're working on for demonstration purposes. And basically what we're looking to do is we're looking to do online courses. And I always ask customers, what feature do we currently offer that's close to what you're looking to do? And if you're not sure which ones we offer, you can always go to demobootstrap.com, and this is a great way to see the different themes that we have. And all of these different themes, it's different types of content. So you can go to the coupons directory, the real estate directory, and so forth. But when I think about a course, I think about a start date and an end date. So you're probably going to want to consider using the events feature and calling them online courses. And that's what I'm going to show everybody right now, is how to take one of our out-of-the-box features and repurpose it for the type of content you want people to add. So in order to change the events feature and call it online courses, all you need to do is go into the admin of your website, and we're going to go to content, and I'm going to click on edit post settings. Now I have two options. I can either clone the event, so if I'm planning on also having events and online courses, I'll want to clone it, but in this case I don't want to have events, I just want to have online courses. So I'm going to find the events feature and I'm going to edit it. I'm going to rename it online courses, and I'm going to change the URL permalink. So instead of it being mydirectory.com/events, it's going to be /online courses. I always find it's great to get this in the URL, especially if you can get a keyword that has your industry in it. So you know people are going to be Googling for online courses, so it's good to have that in every URL structure every time your members add.
You could have interior design online courses and really use the keywords strongly there.
Exactly. And then so what I've done is this is the general settings. Now I'm going to go to the profile page design. When I'm referring to the profile page design, I'm referring to the layout of that particular content on a profile page. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of the members. So this here is a profile page. So this is going to be the layout in the actual tab where it says online courses. So I want to rename that to also say online courses. And since it's an online course,
I just want to interrupt you right there. Also, for a lot of people want to rearrange the tab order on the listing pages. So we saw it said overview and then specialties. You can see overview is first and then specialties. That box right underneath where you were editing the name in the admin, you guys can set the tab order of which one comes first, second, third, fourth for your different types of content. So zero would be the first one, and so on. So that's a good thing to note also.
Exactly. And then the search result layout, this is if somebody is browsing your courses, you're going to want to change what people read in the H1. So this says upcoming events. So we're going to change it to say upcoming online courses. And basically, that's everything you need to change to completely repurpose a Brilliant Directories feature and make it your own. So I'm going to go ahead and save these changes. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we log into a membership tier that's allowed to post online courses. So here we see that the premium members can post online courses. All we did was rename it. So I'm going to log in as one of these members. And in the dashboard, you'll see it's now renamed online courses. I didn't need to do any coding. It's going to be renamed online courses everywhere we go. So if I go to click to add an online course, it's going to take me to a form where I can go ahead and complete all of the details. Since it's a course, I can choose the end date, the start date, and an end date, just like I can for an event. That's why I chose this particular content type to repurpose for online courses. You can promote the cost to 10. You can add an external web link if you want to drive traffic somewhere else for them to register. You could put the location, of course, for online courses. This is kind of irrelevant. And then you can add a description for the course itself. And then once you've added the courses, all of these are going to now display at the new URL that you created, which is online courses. And you can see we're promoting upcoming online courses. Now you may want to go into the form itself if you want to add some custom fields that aren't present in the actual form that's out of the box. But most of the time you could just repurpose the ones that are there. So as you can see, it takes no more than 5 minutes to repurpose a Brilliant Directories feature for one of your types of contents without having to do any advanced coding.
Yep, that's great. Actually, that was a great outline of that, Pat. Thank you. All right, let's see what other questions we have here. And by the way, I've seen people create online course websites for specific industries, and they have affiliate links, and the external link to the course is to the program, and anyone who signs up to that program, they obviously get the affiliate credit. So they're just creating a directory of online courses that are not necessarily their own, but they're linking out and generating revenue from the clicks that are going to where you can actually purchase those third-party courses. And you can do that with a lot of things. For example, the products and events and things like that. All right, let's continue. We got some questions here. Jeff, I've unmuted your microphone. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, where are you calling in from, Jeff?
Vancouver, Canada.
All right, great. And what's your question for us today?
My question was about setting up subdirectories. So, for example, if you had plumbers.com and you wanted to have them people from their IP address land in Seattle, how would you set that up?
Pat, you got an answer for that one? Actually, I think we were discussing that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I do have an answer for that, and I'm going to share it with everybody here in the chat. I'm going to share a link to an article that takes care of this.
I just want to. I just want to repeat the question for everyone for just one moment. So Jeff is saying he has for example, a directory of plumbers, and when people come to his website, for example, plumbers.com is just as an example. If someone is from Seattle, for example, he only wants to show Seattle results right on the homepage. Is that correct, Jeff?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. The pros and cons of that, just right out of the gate, if your site doesn't have a lot of content in different cities and locations, Pat might have a workaround for this, but it may end up that while you're doing marketing, a lot of the pages might not have good results and your site may not look credible because it doesn't look like there's a lot of resources on it. So that's the only thing but I think I'm going to pass it to Pat now.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Jason. So I shared a link in the chat for everybody to read, and it is this article, which is instructions on how to filter results based on a visitor's physical location. Now, by following these steps, you're going to essentially be prompting the public to allow you to geocode them. That's the first step that needs to happen, is a visitor to your website needs to give permission for the IP to be taken from wherever they are, whether they're on their mobile phone, whether they're on a desktop, a laptop, and so forth. So once the user says allow, then the software is able to geocode them and knows where they are. But that's not everything that needs to happen. We did discuss this in another webinar. This is something that we can do internally for you. There is quite a bit of work that needs to happen. But essentially what you can do is you can take any of the streaming widgets and have it display information only based on location. So I could have only Atlanta videos displaying if somebody is physically in Atlanta, or I could have courses in Chicago showing if I'm physically in Chicago. But you're looking at about a $200 customization per streaming widget. The most common widget that people utilize is the featured member widget, because they are able to make money with this customization by doing that. The marketing angle, of course, being that if I am a doctor in Denver and you're telling me, would you like to be on my homepage, I'm thinking that it may be a poor investment if it's a national directory. Because what are the odds one of my potential customers going to see my featured profile? So I'm going to go to Demo Bootstrap real quick and we can see this again. So the advantage of what you're doing is I would use the featured member widget, and then you would be selling them a spot on the homepage only for Denver visitors. So now so you can make it more affordable this way. Otherwise, the featured member functionality, you would have to sell it at a premium, because basically one member would be taking up valuable real estate for the entire country, when in fact they really only want to be advertising in Denver. So using that model, investing a little bit in a customization like this does end up generating money for you, because you're able to sell many more featured member spots than you would if it was nationwide. But only under that model would I consider doing something like this, as Jason said. And then you can brand it as top-rated plumbers in near you. And then basically it would just, even if you only had one profile, the person that's advertising to have that spot would actually be happy of being the only one listed in that spot.
Perfect. Thanks.
Also, what you can do is you could have other streaming widgets that aren't necessarily location-based. It could, for example, let's use the plumber. Let's continue with the plumber's example. Underneath the featured members, you could just have general tips about plumbers for consumers directly under that. So you're still giving good content to everyone, but the featured members are related to the location of the website visitor. All right.
Exactly. No, I see a lot of people doing that, and it's working well for them, and they're really able to focus on local marketing for that featured member spot.
Awesome. All right, let's continue here and see a lot of questions here. More people joined us than I assumed would come in. Since more people joined us, let me just reiterate the webinar that's coming up. So for those of you who joined us just a little late, we do have a webinar that we're doing. It's going to be on a weekend, so hopefully more people can join in. It's going to be a special webinar that Pat and I are putting on. We're going to cover topics on how to actually generate revenue from website visitors and turn them into paying members, and we're going to use live examples of sites and strategies that Pat and I have used in the past. And what we'll have is a Q&A session to follow, plus some takeaway handouts for the attendees. You can use Early Bird as the coupon code. That'll knock $50 off the attendance price, and you can go to brilliantdirectories.com/promo. All right, let's keep moving along here. Glenn, I've unmuted your mic. Glenn, how you doing today?
I'm well, thanks. And you?
Very good, Glenn. Thank you. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Birmingham in the Midlands in the UK.
Okay, well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
What's your question for us today?
I've got a number of questions, but I'm going to try and keep it short because obviously there's other people. I want to know ultimately if it's possible for me to edit the content on my home page so that it's formatted exactly how I want it to be formatted. I'm referring to the text on the home page for my site, which is introoffer.co.uk, but I'm not sure it's going to come up as the URL as at this stage because I haven't formatted it yet.
I got you. No worries. Yeah, you absolutely have full control over your content. Is this your site here?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay. So let's see here. So first of all, you have two streaming widgets here, newest members and search popular categories. Mm-hmm. And you have this content here. Have you been able to edit this content down here yet?
No, I've only just started to put the site together. So I've just been playing around with it today, to be honest with you. So
let me show you your new best friend.
Okay.
So, in the admin area, under settings, and it's called design settings, and I see that you've been there already.
Yeah.
Under your homepage layout, now these are the things you can do without getting into the actual HTML code. So I see that you've already set your homepage section order. You have the hero divider, recent members, and then your top categories. And that's what we have here. This is the hero divider area, recent members, and categories, as well as your about offer. So if you scroll down a little bit more, let me toggle this closed. Underneath the homepage section order are your homepage streaming widget options. And here is where you can edit text, for example, newest members. And over here it's saying newest members. So let's just change that temporarily. We'll say it. We'll just say top rated members. This is your recent members. And then you have your categories. I think that one is down here somewhere. It says search popular categories. Is that what this says? Yeah, search popular categories. We'll just change that to search by category, something simple. And, and I'll just save the changes. So all the titles can be easily changed. The number of results can be easily changed. So maybe you have 1,000 categories. You don't need 1,000 categories on your homepage. Maybe just your top categories. So
so if I just take you back to the homepage, I was able to edit the text, which is the main text on the homepage, but I wasn't happy with how it's aligned on the page. And I was trying to get it to actually sit on the page exactly in the way that I want it to sit. So for example, where you've got find introductory on the home page, where you've got if you go up to the top of the home page, where you've got find all introductory offers in one place, I wasn't happy with how offers was sitting on my screen. It seems to be different on this screen because on my screen the offers was actually following introductory on the top line.
Gotcha. So
hanging in hanging off the edge really. I was hoping to get it more how it appears on the site at the moment.
Gotcha. So what you can do there is so different web browsers will render fonts slightly different sizes. So on Google Chrome, the fonts are just a couple pixels larger than Firefox, for example. So so for you, what's happening is offers is going on right after introductory like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's right.
So what you should do is just increase the font size a little bit more. So definitely on all browsers, it's definitely going to fall to the next line. So I'll make this like font size right here. The main title font size, I'll make that 58. and that'll ensure that on 99% of browsers, that word offer will fall to the next size. Can I make a recommendation on your background? I know that you're just playing around here. So because we're using a white font, you know, you can use whatever font color you want, but this picture here with the scattered images, and because it's a lot of it is there's a lot of white space with the borders, it becomes a little hard to read the font. But I know you're just working on the site, so I would recommend using something solid that can be utilized on the site. Even this is a little easier to read, even though it's a light on light. So that's how you can get the offers onto the same line.
Okay, and one final question. I know the site's possible to be read on a mobile phone, so it's mobile friendly, but what about having the site promoted in the App Store? Is that possible at this stage?
Yeah, so I'm going to send a link. So what you can do, because the Brilliant Directory sites are mobile friendly, the days of developing an entirely separate app are really over because it's very expensive. There is a video on this page on our website, Mobile Ready App, and there's a video down here on how to turn your Brilliant Directory site into a mobile app. Now this is a very basic video, but there are things that you can do on your site to make it look nicer on mobile and on apps. For example, you might want to hide certain things on a mobile device. So this is just a quick video, but just know that you can get a little more in depth with how it appears on a mobile device using it. I'll give you one example here. Give me one moment. Where did I have your site here? So let's look at this on a mobile device. Let's say on a mobile device you really didn't want this header because this takes up a lot of space over here. So there are ways to get into the code, and what you could do, now I'm getting into the code, but you could do stuff like there's classes, hidden, excess, and that will hide, you know, the header on mobile devices. So now you're starting people off with just the title. Even this title, maybe you just want to start people off with your search on mobile. You can use this hidden excess, but you'll have to get into the code to add the hidden excess where you want it. But this way you can, I'm going to put this class here, it's a CSS class, into the chat as well. But now you're starting your site just with the search thing. So this would be a good app experience if you said like search for so-and-so here and then the search box was here. So we've eliminated some things on mobile devices. So I'm just going to drop this CSS class in here. But yeah, that's a good question. You do have control, and you should watch this video on how to turn your site into a mobile app.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for joining us from the UK today.
Cheers.
All right, good question there. All right, let's take William. Are you there, William?
I have two quick questions, but the first question is, you gave a really great example of how to deal with the site from an SEO perspective when it's a local directory. But what about if it's a national? What if you're trying to target nationally? Can you target certain pages on a local level based on the location of the establishment that you, or based on the members in your directory, if they're in Atlanta or
so you kind of want
to
amp up a specific page for a certain location that's part of a larger directory.
That is correct, yes.
All right, do you mind if we take a look at your site?
Yeah, I mean, we're still working on it, but
that's okay.
RBIZ, RBIZZ.
All right. That's okay if it's a work in progress. Don't forget, a site can take up to 6 months to get seeded and indexed by Google. So those of you who have coming soon pages, I highly recommend removing them and just going live with your site. So let's check out your site real quick here.
Right.
And all right. So, okay, nice little business directory here. And let's say Atlanta, you said?
Yes.
All right. So, all right, you've customized. So this is one, you have one result in Atlanta, right?
Right, yeah.
And so our biz is restaurant biz. So these are all restaurants?
Correct.
All right, so there is a really, really cool way that you can, by the way, nice ad placement here. This is a really good. There's a really good way to add additional SEO content to a page like this, like Atlanta. Let me show you how to do it. Okay.
Yes.
So first is you want to make sure you've logged in with the Visit Website tool, so you get this black sidebar here. What you want to do is, this is a dynamic page. It's just loaded based, you can do Atlanta, Los Angeles. It's just going to show the same layout over and over again. What you want to do is click on Create Static Page. And what you want to do is put the URL here, so Atlanta. It's going to match that. And then the important thing here is the page type. Set this to profile search results. Profile is referring to members. So this is a member search results type of page. And I'm going to do Atlanta SEO content. And I'm just going to type some text in here. Atlanta dining is the best. Search our Atlanta restaurants now, etc., etc. Spelled restaurants wrong. Okay, so now I'm just going to save the changes. All right. Oh, also, you can come down here, the SEO page details.
Right.
What are we going to do?
Yes.
We're going to do Atlanta restaurants. Sorry, guys, I don't know how to spell restaurants. I got to use a spell check. And then you could do find Atlanta best. I think best is people search best also. Best rather than Atlanta dining. And then let's take it one step further. Atlanta zip code. I'm sure there's a lot of them. Well, I guess you could do that later. You can get a little more detailed. So let me just save the changes real quick. And then we will visit the new page that we've turned a dynamic page into a specific static page. You'll now see this page if you go to Edit Web Pages. And this is really good when you are a national directory, but you want to start investing in SEO in a specific area, is to really make it a static page. So if we scroll down here, you got a lot of pages you made. I guess it's on page 2. You'll now see that you have Atlanta SEO content right here. And then furthermore, you can update the H1 and H2. Atlanta special, I'm just going to type it here, SEO content. And let's save this again, and then let's take a look at this Atlanta page one more time now. So a few things have changed here. The title here, Atlanta Special SEO Content, you can put whatever you want there. And also you'll have this Read More tab. And this is where you can put any HTML you want based on this editor here. So you can put images, you can put any type of SEO content that'll help you out here in the Read More tab. And this will be helpful for ranking in search engines. And then if we look at the meta title here, we see Atlanta Best Restaurants, find Atlanta Dining, and you can tweak it out per page, based on the location. So this is this is one sentence, but you can have 8 paragraphs about dining in Atlanta, and that'll help give you a little bit of an edge there. So that's the, I guess, quick and dirty way to beef up a specific local area and start giving it some special SEO content.
Fantastic. Great. I got a lot of homework to do. My last question is, you mentioned something about the lead generator being updated. I just wanted to make sure I had the latest.
Yeah, you're good.
I believe I do.
Yeah, you'll know if it's updated if you see lead settings here under your leads.
Gotcha.
So with the new one, there's lead settings. And again, if you don't have the new leads module, it's free to get it, and we'll install it on your site. Just email support if you don't have the lead settings here.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. So page type, profile search results. Okay, fantastic.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
I'll show you that one more time. Page type, profile search results. Put the URL here from the page, exact page you just came from. A quick way to find pages, if you don't know them, is to go to the profile page, and you can click on the breadcrumbs here, and then now you know, like, you can create another page for United States Atlanta restaurants if you wanted to.
Okay.
All right. All right, good stuff.
Yes. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. All right, great question there. Love questions about SEO. SEO is complicated. It's like peeling an onion. As you get deeper, it gets more complicated, and it's never ending. There's layers and layers that you can do for SEO, but there are some foundational outer shell elements of that onion that everyone should do. And the most important thing is make sure your keywords are on the page. I'm gonna just show the example of the Party Bravo. And she wasn't able to make the webinar today, but she said that she's not ranking as well as she wants to, and she wants to rank for Persian wedding and luxury events. It's a directory, find that. And this is an image here, her logo, and nowhere on her site does it say party planning. It says find a service, very generic terms, recent blogs, upcoming events. You need to inject the keywords that you're trying to rank for, whether they're industry specific, like plumbers, or if they're location specific, like Sarasota, in the example we had before. So I think we'll end it there. If you haven't registered for the webinar, we only have 100 seats for this one. We expect it to sell out. We'll be marketing it this weekend until the date. Use the promo code EARLYBIRD. It'll take $50 off the price. And also, if you haven't done so, the contest of the week is super simple. If you did this last week, we've already added the credit to your account, but if you haven't done it, go to brilliantdirectories.com/new review and just leave a review about Brilliant Directories there. Any feedback is helpful, and you'll receive $50 of credit added to your Brilliant Directories account. And as always, after the webinar, we'll send an email where you can register for next week's webinar Wednesday. So we definitely look forward to seeing you in next week's webinar. Thanks for joining us today, guys. It was great being with you.
It was an awesome one. Thank you so much, guys. See you guys next week.